जयो जयो कुंज बिहारी जयो राधा माधव जयो कुंज बिहारी जयो गोपी जन वल्लभ जयो गिरिवरधारी जयो गिरिवरधारी जयो राधा माधव जयो कुंज बिहारी जयो राधा माधव जयो कुंज बिहारी नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी इति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय सच्चिनंदन जय सच्चिनंदन गौर हरि जय राधा माधव राधे जय राधा श्याम सुंदर राधे जय राधा पाठ सखी राधे जय गिरि गोवर्धन जय गिरि गोवर्धन जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेव जय सुभद्रा जय सुदर्शन जय सीताराम लक्ष्मण हनुमान जय जय प्रभुपाद जय श्रील प्रभुपाद जय जय गुरुदेव जय गुरुदेव निताय गौर हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल 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 हरि बोल। हरि नाम संकीर्तन यज्ञ की जय। Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Jai Jai Shri Radhe Shyam. Wow, wow, wonderful, wonderful. Welcome, welcome. Somebody should call Hema and Archana also to come like Bharti and Meena. ऐसे ही आ जाए दोनों एक ही फ्रेम में. Of course वो अब अपने घर चली गई है हेमा, but still. Preeti, welcome. Thank you for your seva. I think all of you got calls from.
No, thanks. Well, मैं अभी थोड़ी free थी तो मैंने first से class join कर ली है.
अच्छा, were you able to call Hema and Archana as well?
I called Hema. I called Hema. मैंने हेमा को call किया था and I said please उनको भी बोल देना, अर्चना को भी ना. तो उसने कहा आएगी, उसने बोला था.
चलो ठीक है, great.
हाँ, maybe थोड़ा सा आगे पीछे कुछ हो रहा होगा, आएंगी वो, बोला था उन्होंने.
Okay, we'll start right away because I have a Janmashtami meeting. And by the way, all of you have got all Janmashtami messages. What we discussed that day, all the activities I've posted on the group, and I hope all of you are participating in all those online activities. Yes? If nahi hai, please scroll up and see all the activities that I've posted. There are many things. And register yourself fast because limited slots are there in online. Okay, so we have to start with verse 16. Very interesting verses today. बहुत wonderful PPTs भी इसकी बनी हुई हैं. It will depend on your response, how quickly we can cover and how many. So I'll request YG to read verse 16 for us, please.
Okay. Kim karma karmeti kavayo yatra mohitaha tatte karma pravakshyami yajñatva mokshyase shubhat. Even the intelligent are bewildered in determining what is action and what is inaction. Now I shall explain to you what action is, knowing which you shall be liberated from all misfortune.
So have you all revised what we did last week? Because this is in continuation to what we did last week. I can only see Anjali's head nodding, who remembers everything. Anjali, would you like to bring the class up to date to what we did last week? Only then will it make sense to do this verse. You can all refer to your notes and contribute just 1 point each on what we did last week. If we can see your faces, it'll be nice. I always pride this class of Nandini that everybody's cameras are always on. It's so much fun to, meet all of you. Anu, Reshma, Hanji Anjali, आप बोलिए फिर बाकियों को भी याद आ जाएगा.
In verse 13, the Lord is talking about the 4 divisions of human society that he has created. Initially, he says that he is the creator, but everything is created by him, everything is sustained by him, and even after destruction or annihilation, everything merges unto him. He has created the 4 divisions of human race according to the 3 modes of material nature. The most intelligent being the first class being called Brahmins, who are situated in the mode of goodness. The second administrative class is Kshatriya, who are in the mode of passion. The third being the mercantile people, those who do trade, are the Vaishyas, who are situated in the mixed modes of passion and ignorance. And lastly, the last class is Shudras, who are situated in the mode of ignorance. So all these classes, they are allotted duties as per the class that they are born in. And but above all these 4 classes is a person, above the Brahmins also, is a person who is fully into Krishna consciousness. Such a person or such persons are called as Vaishnavas, one who acts and lives his life in Krishna consciousness. So a Vaishnav is higher than a Brahmin as well. And
thank you very much, Anjali. Neha, Ishita, so cute. किसी और को कुछ contribute करना है? Quickly, because we have to cover so much. Anu and Reshma. Yes, Meena.
I want to add further कि ये जो वर्णाश्रम था, ये इसका मेन पर्पस वर्णाश्रम धर्म का है कि जो हम एनिमल लाइफ जी रहे हैं उससे हटके एलिवेट करने के लिए ये वर्णाश्रम धर्म बनाए गए थे, और जिससे कि पीपल अपने आप को प्यूरिफाई कर सकें और अपग्रेड कर सकें, क्योंकि ह्यूमन लाइफ आपको बहुत मुश्किल से मिली है इसके लिए। और साथ में एम है कि आप अपनी ह्यूमन लाइफ में रह के अपनी डिजायर्स को लिमिट में कर सकते हो, कंट्रोल कर सकते हो, तो इसलिए वर्णाश्रम धर्म बनाया गया था।
Yes.
Yeah, and more thing, all the living entities, the animals, and even the demigods, they are all subjected to the reactions of the past good or bad deeds. So because of the tendency to lord it over the material nature.
Yes. Thank you. And the rest of the verses up to 15, any other points? Because we are going to do on karam, akaram, vikaram today. So brushing up your the previous verses will help.
And 15th shloka, Krishna said कि previously सबने ये गुरु परंपरा शिष्य को फॉलो करके और उसी से ज्ञान को प्राप्त किया, तो वो 15th श्लोका में बोला है कृष्णा ने। तो अर्जुन को बोला है कि तुम भी वही फॉलो करो।
Yeah. Anything else? Anything on verse 14?
The Lord gives everyone the proper facilities for all activities, and but he is not responsible for their past and present activities. Like the proprietor of an establishment would not be responsible for the rights or the wrongs done by the workers.
Yes.
A person or a worker is himself responsible for his actions. Similarly, in spite of the fact that we have been given all facilities by the Lord, he is not responsible for our good deeds or wrong deeds, bad deeds, whatever. We ourselves are responsible.
Yes, he is not in the picture. So we also discussed on COVID. भगवान ने कोविड क्यों किया? भगवान तो है ही नहीं पिक्चर में, आप ही ने किया, आप ही भुगत रहे हैं. And you don't want to take responsibility, so you are blaming God.
In verse 14, one more thing.
Yes.
That Krishna is unaffected by the activities of the material world, and Krishna is aloof from material actions and reactions.
Yes. Yeah. Krishna के ऊपर कोई भी laws इस material world के काम नहीं करते. He does not even touch the material world. You know, if you learn, once you read Srimad Bhagavatam, the cosmology that has been explained in Srimad Bhagavatam is so amazing. That Krishna, the way Krishna creates this whole cosmos, and when he makes the material world, तो मुझे इसे छूना नहीं है, बनाना है, लेकिन मुझे इसके पास भी नहीं जाना. How he creates Sadashiv and Shiva Tattva to handle this material energy, you know, for him to do that work. So yeah, so he is not at all under the control of goodness, passion, and ignorance. Okay, now coming to verse 16. That's what we read today, right? So action in Krishna consciousness has to be executed in accord with the examples of previous bona fide devotees. This is recommended in the 15th verse. Why such action should not be independent will be explained in the text to follow. To act in Krishna consciousness, one has to follow the leadership of authorized persons who are in a line of disciplic succession, as explained in the beginning of this chapter. The system of Krishna consciousness was first narrated to the sun god Vivaswan, who explained it to his son Manu. Manu explained it to his son Ikshvaku, and the system is current on this earth from that very remote time. Therefore, one has to follow in the footsteps of previous authorities in the line of disciplic succession. Otherwise, even the most intelligent men will be bewildered regarding the standard actions of Krishna consciousness. So intelligent people can also fall prey if they do not follow authority. So how important following an authority is. This is an eye-opener for me. For this reason, the Lord decided to instruct Arjuna in Krishna consciousness directly. Because of the direct instruction of the Lord to Arjuna, anyone who follows in the footsteps of Arjuna is certainly not bewildered. It is said that one cannot ascertain the ways of religion simply by imperfect experimental knowledge. Actually, the principles of religion can only be laid down by the Lord himself. According to Bhagavatam, Dharman tu sakshat Bhagavad Pranita. No one can manufacture a religious principle by imperfect speculation. One must follow in the footsteps of the great authorities like Brahma, Shiva, Narad, the four Kumars, Kapil, Prahlad, Bhishma, Sukhdev Goswami, Yamaraj, Janak, and Bali Maharaj. You know who these are? These are the Mahajans. Prabhupada has listed the names of the Mahajans. कितने हैं? 12 हैं? 11, yes, he's listed all 12. These are the 12 Mahajans. Meaning Mahan Jan. Meaning authorities. Meaning these are the people to be followed. Not scientists. Sorry. Not doctors. Not Nobel Prize laureates. I mean, they are also trying to find out. They are digging and digging, but they are still confused and trying to find out the reasons for all the problems in the world, inconclusively. But these Mahajans tried and tested, and this is the real authority. By mental speculation, now we are talking about the people of our world, one cannot ascertain what is religion or self-realization. Therefore, out of causeless mercy to his devotees, the Lord explains directly to Arjuna what action is and what inaction is. Only action performed in Krishna consciousness can deliver a person from the entanglement of material existence. So let's revise this verse. Can you see this? Can you see the PPT?
Yeah.
All right. This is but verse 20 and we have to go to verse 16. So Krishna here is explaining how to perform a karam. Lord Krishna,
laptop.
sorry. Lord Krishna explains the difference between these three, karam, akaram, and vikaram, in the following verses. Why? Why is he doing that? Two reasons. Let's take this reason first. No one can manufacture religious principles by imperfect speculations or experimental knowledge. And he's giving, Prabhupada is giving the Bhagavatam verse, Dharman tu sakshat Bhagavad Pranitam. I have the verse open here. Can you see the verse?
Yeah, but could you just zoom it?
This can't be zoomed any further. Can you see, everyone, the verse?
Yeah.
Yeah, English.
Dharman tu sakshat Bhagavad Pranitam, na vai vidur rishayo napi deva, na siddha mukhya asura manushyaha, Kutonu Vidyadhara Charanadaya. Translation: real religious principles are enacted by God, by Krishna. Although fully situated in the mode of goodness, even the great rishis who occupy the topmost planets cannot ascertain the real religious principles. Nor can the demigods or the leaders of Siddhalok, to say nothing of the asurs, ordinary human beings, Vidyadhars and Charanas. This, I'll read it again. This shlok is priceless. Real religious principles are enacted by Krishna. Why? Because although fully situated in the mode of goodness, even rishis who occupy the topmost planets cannot ascertain the real religious principles. So neither rishis, nor Devi Devatas, nor the leaders of Siddhalok, nor Vidyadhar, nor Charanas. What does that leave us with? If even the demigods, even if the Devi Devatas are not qualified to make religious principles, I mean, who are the people of this world then? Isn't it worth thinking? And we have put so much faith in the educated, qualified people of this world. No, the moment they get a title, he's Padma Vibhushan, we listen. What does he have to say? You know, oh, he's got Nobel Prize. We listen carefully. What does he have? He is MBBS, MD, FMCH, FD. I don't know what all degrees. The longer the degree, the more we listen to them. Oh, he's an intelligent man. He is definitely intelligent in his field, yes. But in religion and religious principles, this verse is saying not even Devi Devatas, not even the Siddhas, Charanas, Gandharvas are qualified, not even the rishis who are sitting in tapasya can understand the principles of religion. So how crucial it is to hear about the principles of religion from Krishna himself. Hence, how crucial it is for everyone to read the Bhagavad Gita. Because here Krishna is giving direct instructions. Isn't it? So nobody is qualified to manufacture the religion. So nobody is qualified to tell us the definition of good and bad. Nobody is qualified to tell us, no logbook, no Supreme Court can tell us what needs to be done, what does not need to be done. What they are giving you is preliminary knowledge, but there is more knowledge, because according to the law of the land, we may all be very pious people. Isn't it? हमें अगर कहीं नौकरी पे जाना है, they will say अपनी country से एक पुलिस रिकॉर्ड लेकर आओ कि आपने यहाँ पे कुछ नहीं किया. I think all of us can furnish that. We are all clean. Legally, we are completely clean. We have no debts. The banks can give us a no objection certificate. The police can give us a no objection certificate. The government can give us a no objection certificate. And that's it. All of us are clean, but karmic bank balance, all of us are defaulting in that. Because we still do not know how are we supposed to behave. So my point that I'm trying to make is that these legal bodies that our governments and our countries have made for us is very, very basic. और हम इनके हिसाब से जीते हैं और कहते हैं हमने बड़ा पुण्य लाइफ बिता ली. You know, we are good, we're all good. You know, look, we are completely clean. We have all clean records. That's not enough. That's hardly anything. That's just animalistic. तो ये नॉलेज की बहुत स्कैर्सिटी है और ये नॉलेज काफी नहीं है. अगर आप केवल इसी के हिसाब से अपने आप को जज कर रहे हैं कि वी आर गुड एंड बैड और बैड, then we are all defaulting. The real knowledge comes from Shastra, that too coming from bona fide authorities. So coming back to the rest of the PPT. So no one can manufacture religious principles. I'm emphasizing on this point because this is crucial to who we listen to. Who do we go for advice? Whose definition of dharam do we accept? Okay, so no one can do that. Then avoid independent work. Otherwise, work causes bondage. These are the three reasons why Krishna is explaining the difference to Arjuna. And thirdly, perform actions under the directions of authorized persons in the parampara. And who are the authorized persons? Mahajano yena gataha sapantha. Meaning, महाजन ये न गतः, जिस पंथ पे जा रहे हैं उस पंथ को हमें फॉलो करना है. महाजनों, okay, not the Padma Vibhushans and the PhDs and the doctors and the scientists. No. If we have to really save ourselves from reactions to our actions, we need to perform actions under the direction of Mahajans. So Lord Krishna explains the difference. Why does the Lord explain this to Arjun? Why is he doing it? भगवान को क्यों अर्जुन को बताना पड़ रहा है, who is himself a topmost Vaishnava? Here comes another very strong point in this verse. Even the most intelligent man gets bewildered on this path. That's why. And the Lord's causeless mercy, because he is so merciful, therefore he directly explains to Arjun so that his devotee can understand. That's out of his love. Out of love and compassion, Krishna is doing this favor to Arjun. And consequently, only actions performed in Krishna consciousness can deliver a person. So no one can manufacture dharam. You cannot avoid independent work. And you have to perform your actions according to the parampara. Mahajano yena gata. Then only Krishna consciousness can deliver a person. And the Lord is explaining it to Arjun. Why? Because even the most intelligent man can get bewildered on this path. So whom should we follow? We should follow Arjun, because Krishna has chosen Arjun and is instructing him directly. Hence, we surely will not get bewildered if we are taking it directly from Arjun. Okay? So here, very nicely this has been made. Can you see the whole screen? I mean, can you see the whole slide?
I think the last part is getting cut off.
Yeah, not all
Because the pictures in the
pictures
last
of
row.
Mahajans.
Okay, you can't see all, right? इसके लिए what do I have to do? There is one option that says show full screen. ऐसा आता है ना?
You have to zoom in your laptop.
Yeah, so I'm trying to find out in my laptop. Where does that?
वहीदा आपकी आवाज कट रही है.
Is that so for the others also?
No.
So is this Preeti speaking?
It is my.
हाँ, वाईफाई में प्रॉब्लम होगा प्रीति, वाईफाई नहीं चल रहा है.
चेक करती हूँ. हाँ.
डेटा पे कर लो.
Okay.
लेफ्ट स्क्रीन पे वनीता on the left side of the corner, left topmost, उसमें zoom in और out का साइन है ना?
हाँ ये.
Try that. हाँ.
Reduce it, yeah.
हाँ या. अभी और थोड़ा सा.
नहीं ये आ गया.
Yeah, हो गया.
Yes.
Okay, so in the one parva of Mahabharata, this verse is mentioned. And why do we know this? Because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has included it in the Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela. Tarko pratishtah shrutayo vibhinna nashva rishir yasya matam nabhinnam dharmasya tattvam nihitam guhyam mahajano yena gatah sapantha. I'll read the translation. Dry arguments are inconclusive. A great personality whose opinion does not differ from others is not considered a great sage simply by studying the Vedas, which are variegated. Variegated means बहुत variety है वेदों में. So one cannot come to the right path by which religious principles are understood. The solid truth of religious principles is hidden in the heart of an unadulterated, self-realized person. Consequently, as the Shastras confirm, one should accept whatever progressive path the Mahajans advocate. So this means all the codes of conduct are given in the Vedas, but you need an authorized personality to decode those codes for us. Only then can we get their benefit. So what is this verse from Srimad Bhagavatam? Swayambhur, in the Bhagavatam, these names have been mentioned. So on the basis of the authority of the Bhagavatam, we are calling these 12 people as the Mahajans. Who are they? Lord Brahma, Bhagavan Narad, Lord Shiva, the 4 Kumars, Lord Kapil. There are 2 couples. Therefore, it is mentioned Devahuti Sutta. You know, that couple who is the son of Devahuti, because there is one more couple in the Shastras who was a Nastik. We are not talking about him. Manu, Swayambhuv Manu, Maharaj, 1 minute. Manu, Maharaj Janak, who is the Prahlad Maharaj, Maharaj Janak Maharaj, grandfather Bhishma, Bhishma Pitamaha, Bali Maharaj, Sukhdev Goswami, and Yamaraj says, I myself. So Yamaraj is also a Mahajan. My dear servants, this transcendental religious principle, which is known as Bhagavat Dharma, or surrender unto the Supreme Lord and love for him, is uncontaminated by the material modes of nature. It is very confidential, guhyam, and difficult for ordinary human beings to understand. But if by chance one fortunately understands it, he is immediately liberated, and thus he returns home back to Godhead. So nice, no? And how nicely he has taken the trouble to make the PPT. So these 2 verses that I've mentioned here is reinforcing this fact, this point on who to take guidelines from about Pap and Punya. Because the definition of Pap and Punya is getting diluted year by year. You can see a small example. Yes, Sanjali?
So then in the PPT it was karma, akarma and vikarma. So
that's coming. Abhi to wo badi detail mein aa raha hai. This is just a preliminary. So it is very important to follow authority in trying to understand what is Pap and what's Punya. You can understand why you should not rely on the people of this world. Educated people I'm talking about. Highly qualified people. No one is qualified to talk on dharma. Why? Because we all suffer from these 4 defects. Which are the 4 defects of the human being? Sorry? तुम्हारा volume off है. Bharti.
Sorry, by mistake we spoke. were discussed.
So because we are prone to make mistakes. Human beings are prone to make mistakes. They have a cheating propensity and they are under illusion. उनकी आंखों पे पट्टी डली हुई है, तो कैसे देखेंगे साफ? Therefore, the people of this world keep on diluting what is good and what is bad. You can, if you really remember, all of us may have this experience or we may have heard it from our friends. The definition of vegetarianism has changed so many layers. हमारे grandparents का time था when they used to say शाकाहारी means not even onion garlic. उसको वो शाकाहारी बोलते थे. फिर नेक्स्ट जनरेशन आई, उन्होंने कहा अरे इतना नहीं करना चाहिए, अब जमाना बदल गया है, कैसे करेंगे, ट्रैवल करना होता है, मुश्किल है. सो प्याज लहसुन तो खा सकते हैं, ये भी तो जमीन से ही आते हैं, ये भी तो पेड़ ही है, तो चलो वो इंक्लूड हो गया डेफिनेशन में. हो गई, वहां पे डाइल्यूट हो गई इसकी डेफिनेशन. फिर और आए हम जैसे और एडवांस्ड लोग, हम जैसे पढ़े लिखे आए, अरे डोंट यू नो, मुर्गी तो बिना फर्टिलाइजेशन के अगर अंडा दे देती है, ये तो वेजिटेरियन है, इसको भी इंक्लूड कर दो, ये भी वेजिटेरियन. और पढ़े लिखे महाशय आएंगे, अरे ये तो जल तोरी है, मछली तो जल तोरी है, ये इसको तो हम काली माता को भी चढ़ाते हैं, तो ये कैसे आप वेजिटेरियन नॉन वेज में मान सकते हो? इंक्लूड दैट ऑल्सो. So very conveniently we change the definitions of good and bad. ये तो सिर्फ एक ट्रेलर था. So similarly, in all aspects of our life, there are so many times we have asked this question, what is the right thing to do? And then we run and ask the people around us. And yet no two people will say the same thing. Everybody will still give you a different definition. Therefore, it is very important. Mahajano yena gata. Only follow one standard definition given by the Mahajans. Okay? Next verse. YG?
Yeah. Karmano yapi bodhavyam cha vikarmanah, akarmanascha bodhavyam, gahana karmano gatihi. The intricacies of action are very hard to understand. Therefore, one should know properly what action is, what forbidden action is, and what inaction is.
Yeah. आ गया तुम्हारा point है ना, Anjali? So, if one is serious about liberation, how many of us are serious about liberation? Wow. देखो कितनी जल्दी एक का हाथ उठा. बाकी अभी सोच रहे हैं कितना अच्छा है यहाँ पे भी यार, इतने अच्छे मिले हुए हैं परिवार वाले, गुड़गांव में इतनी सारी अच्छी अच्छी जगहें हैं देखने को, अभी दुनिया भी घूमनी है, लिबरेशन अभी सोचेंगे. If one is serious about liberation from material bondage, one has to understand the distinctions between action, inaction, and unauthorized action. Vikarman, akarmana, and karmano. Karmano, vikarmanaha, akarmanaha. Krishna is himself mentioning these. One has to apply oneself to such an analysis of action, reaction, and perverted actions, because it's very difficult subject matter. To understand Krishna consciousness and action according to its modes, one has to learn one's relationship with the Supreme. That is, one has learned, perfectly knows that every living entity is an eternal servitor of the Lord, and that consequently one has to act in Krishna consciousness. The entire Bhagavad Gita is directed towards this conclusion. Any other conclusions against this consciousness and its attendant actions are vikarmas, or prohibited actions. Very clear definition. To understand all this, one has to associate with authorities in Krishna consciousness and learn the secret from them. This is as good as learning from the Lord directly. Otherwise, even the most intelligent persons will be bewildered. Prabhupada is reinforcing that point. So let's give you the definition in a table form so that it's easy for you to understand. Intricacies of karam are difficult to understand. So Lord Krishna is explaining the difference between karam, akaram, and vikaram. How many want to know? I can't really see your hands. Here goes. What is karam? Working with attachment according to Shastra, which all of us are doing. Correct? All of us are working, trying to work according to Shastra, but we are working with attachments. This is karam. So what we are doing is karam. What is vikaram? Again, working with attachments, but against the Shastra, or not according to Shastra. According to the slogan of all the modern women, all the educated people of the society. वो करो जो दिल को अच्छा लगे. कितनी अच्छी लगती है ना ये बातें. कितनी सारी YouTube में आती हैं. Very serene, calm, nicely dressed ladies. वो करिए जो दिल को अच्छा लगे, है ना? जैसा मन करे वैसा करिए. Wear whatever you are comfortable in. है ना? Do what you like. कितना अच्छा लगता है. Soothing voice में बोलते हैं. And everybody laps it up. Wow, really? मैंने तो आज तक अपने मन की ही नहीं. अब मुझे किसी ने लाइसेंस दे दिया. I am going to go ahead and do what I like. You know, I don't care how this is going to affect the other person. यही है ना स्लोगन लिबरेटेड वुमेन का, फेमिनिस्ट का. बहुत सह लिया. अब वो करो जिसमें आपके मन को खुशी मिले. And look what the Bhagavad Gita is saying about this. All that is vikaram. All that you do against the principles of religion or against not following according to the Shastra or according to the religious principles is vikaram. And the highest or the topmost is akaram, which means actions done in Krishna consciousness. So akaram is neither karam nor vikaram. It is akaram. मतलब ये कर्म है ही नहीं. कर्म के भी आपको रिएक्शन मिलेगा, विकर्म का भी रिएक्शन मिलेगा. अकर्म का कोई रिएक्शन नहीं मिलेगा. So Krishna is explaining the difference. Why one needs to understand this difference? Because if one is serious about liberation, you need to know the distinction. How else will you make decisions? And another reason is, it's a difficult subject matter. So speculation won't help. You have to learn from the authorities. Can you see the Guru Parampara? Krishna speaking to Arjun. And then from Arjun comes the disciplic succession. The Rishis, this is Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And the entire Guru Parampara. That's the way to learn it from authorities. Otherwise, this is akaram. What is akaram? You're doing all the activities according to the duties or the roles that you have been put in as a housemaker, you know, as your job that you are doing, as a student, as the breadwinner of your family. You can do all of these activities, but keeping Krishna as the center of your activities, according to the laws of Krishna, according to the rules of Krishna. If you are living your life, that's called akaram. And anything contrary to that. Clear? Kitni simple definition hai na? Bhurijan Prabhu has explained it very nicely. I'll just read it for you. I'll read what Bhurijan Prabhu has said. Karma. Karma refers to activities done according to Vedic injunctions. So that is also karma. Vedon ke anusar jo kiya gaya. But such activities are generally referred to as karma kand. Owing to the performer's material desires, karma kand gives you always good results, which we all try to do. Vikaram means activities which are prohibited in the Vedas. That's V. मतलब वेदों के अनुसार चलना is karam, वेदों के against चलना is vikaram. Simple. Because the Vedas are not made by man. They are Krishna's rules and regulations made directly by him. And if you're following this authority, then you are performing karma. If you're not following that authority, you're following your own whims and fancies. That is vikaram. Okay. Now, what is karam? Akaram? Akaram refers to work performed for Krishna's pleasure. Such work brings no material reaction, neither good nor bad. In his purport, Srila Prabhupada classifies vikaram and karam together. So actually, Prabhupada ने तो कर्म को भी विकर्म की ही कैटेगरी में डाला हुआ है. Because अगर आप अच्छे काम भी कर रहे हो, वेदों के अनुसार भी अगर आप कर रहे हो, पुण्य काम कर रहे हो, but you're doing it with attachment because you want results. So for that also you will have to take birth and come again. If you've done a large body of pious activity, बहुत आपने पुण्य कर्म कर लिए, स्वर्ग में कुछ टाइम मिलेगा आपको उसको भोगने के लिए, and उसके बाद again you will come to this world of birth and death and torture once that bank balance finishes. So it's just a prolonged hell. It's just prolonging your stay here. Good karam also, mind you. Punya karam is also prolonging your stay on this deathly planet. But what do intelligent people do? They want to get out of the deathly planet. है ना, कोई ऐसे बताए तो लगता है ना कि इस planet को तो हम बड़ा रोजी बताते हैं, but it's a deathly planet. If you write that in your mind, you will want to get out of here as soon as possible. So for him, vikaram and karam is both, which will give you reactions for which you will have to come back to suffer. But akaram means completely obedience to Krishna's laws is akaram. Simple. He has made some laws very clearly defined in the Bhagavad Gita. Very clearly, there is no, it's not complicated. It's not veiled. In the coming verses, you will understand very clearly. He says, do this, this, this. Don't do this, this, this. So there is no scope of any confusion. You live according to the codes of Krishna. You are living a karam life. You will not get any reactions. You will not be tried in any court of justice by Yamaraj. And after our time on this planet Earth finishes, you're free to go back home, back to Godhead, never to come back on a deathly planet, just by following the rules of Krishna. Anything less than that, you will have to come back. Even if it is good, you have to come back. This is the standard laid down by Mahajans. So now, having introduced the term vikaram, Krishna is going to discuss the distinction between karam and akaram. Next verse. Shall we go to the next verse? Vaiji?
Yeah. Karmanya karmaya pashyet akarmani cha Sabbuddhiman manusyeshu sayukta Krishna karma, and action and inaction is intelligent among men, and he is in the transcendental position, although engaged in all sorts of activities.
I think there's some problem with your internet as well, Vaiji.
Oh, okay.
Can you read the translation again?
Yeah. Can you hear me now? Yeah. Okay. One who sees inaction in action and action in inaction is intelligent among men, and he is in the transcendental position, although engaged in all sorts of activities.
Okay. So this is interesting. Action and inaction, inaction and action. Come beta. It's fine. You can also attend. मैं तो आपको बहुत देर से देखा ही नहीं है. What's her name, Ishita?
Divya.
Divya. Come Divya, we are doing something interesting. आ जाओ. A A person acting in Krishna consciousness is naturally free from the bonds of karma. His activities are all performed for Krishna, therefore he does not enjoy or suffer any of the effects of work. Consequently, he is intelligent in human society, even though he is engaged in all sorts of activities for Krishna. Outwardly, he may seem like ये भी तो हमारे जैसे ही है, इनको क्यों, this is what people do, उसको क्यों नहीं मिला, उसके साथ क्यों नहीं हुआ ये, हमारी तरह ही वो भी बच्चे पाल रहा है, नौकरी कर रहा है, पैसा कमाता है, गाड़ी में घूमता है, एरोप्लेन में भी जाता है, उसके साथ नहीं हो रहा, मेरे साथ क्यों हो रहा है? Why? That is the reason is his consciousness with which he is doing it is very different from your consciousness. He is doing it keeping Krishna in the center without attachment, without expecting results for what he is doing. And he's strictly following the rules laid down by Krishna. So even though he is doing the same activities what you are doing, yet he will not get the same results as you are getting. And this is how we get confused. Anna? When we see other people doing the same things, we get confused. कि ये ऐसा क्या कर रहे हैं जो हम नहीं कर रहे और क्यों हम दोनों को रिजल्ट्स डिफरेंट मिल रहे हैं. So always bhavna is hidden. You can only see the person's actions, but you can't see his intention. And that is why you are never able to judge a person, because his intention is hidden. Intention आप देख नहीं सकते, सूंघ नहीं सकते, सुन भी नहीं सकते intention, कि वो किस intention से वो काम कर रहा है. और सारा कर्म का फल intention से ही मिलता है. How important intention is, how important consciousness is. किस भावना से आपने वो काम किया, सारा फल उस भावना के बेस पे मिलता है. Isn't that eye-opening? So therefore also भक्तों के समाज में कहा जाता है, never judge a devotee. Even if you see him doing something that you think is wrong, you don't know कि वो किस भावना से कर रहा है. His bhavna could be completely very advanced. You may not be able to understand what he's doing. Okay. So a person acting in Krishna consciousness is naturally free from the bonds of karma. His activities are all performed for Krishna. And therefore, he does not enjoy or suffer any of the effects of work. Consequently, he's intelligent in human society, even though he's engaged in all sorts of activities. Akarma means without reaction to work. The impersonalist ceases fruitive activities out of fear, so that the resultant action may not be a stumbling block on the path of realization, self-realization. But the personalist knows rightly his position as the eternal servitor of Krishna. Therefore, he engages himself. This is the difference in bhavna. जो impersonalist है, ब्रह्म ज्ञानी बोलते हैं इनको, ब्राह्मण को मानते हैं, जो भगवान का पर्सनल फॉर्म को नहीं मानते, उनका लॉजिक ये है कि मुझे अगर इस दुनिया से लिबरेट होना है, सेल्फ, इफ आई वांट टू गेट लिबरेटेड, आई शुड स्टॉप डूइंग ऑल वर्क. काम नहीं करूंगा तो रिएक्शन नहीं मिलेगा, रिएक्शन नहीं मिलेगा तो यहाँ सजा कोई भुगतनी नहीं पड़ेगी, तो इसलिए आई विल गो बैक होम, बैक टू गॉडहेड. Krishna is now going to tell you the flaw in that, because if you're trying to cheat Krishna, he's the biggest cheater. You know, you cannot circumvent his laws. He has already thought of this, that there will be nuts like you who will think like this and stop acting. But you can never stop acting. The soul can never sit idle. The soul has been designed to do work. Even if you say you're not going to do anything, you're still going to breathe. You're still going to eat. You're still going to drink to sustain yourself. That itself can implicate you.
निकाल दूंगी.
Isn't it? So,
करो.
what does it? Please mute. What does
अभी
it?
दिमाग लगाओ मैथ्स के असाइनमेंट में. 5:30 से 5:40 भी हो जाएगा ना, तो कोई पहाड़ नहीं टूटेगा उसमें.
Sheetal, can you mute, please?
It's Anu.
Acha, Anu.
Sorry.
No worries. This happens to me all the time. I'm so embarrassed. I check my mic so many times. Okay. So, what does a Krishna conscious person do? He knows, the personalist knows. What does he do? He does not stop his work. He does all his work, but with the bhavna of a servant. I am Krishna's pet dog. आई एम हिज सर्वेंट. मेरी अपनी फ्री विल नहीं है. मेरी will is dovetailed to Krishna's will. Whatever he wants me to do, I will do, even though it may be the most difficult thing for me. This is akaram, living according to the rules laid down by Krishna and living according to the will of Krishna, not expecting any results for what you do. Leave it to Krishna. And actually, I'm just sharing my own realization that this is easy to understand by looking at our house helps. So I have a house help with me for the last 6 years who is exemplary in her work. So exemplary, and she works so quietly that so many times I don't even notice the kind of cleaning she has done until she brings it to my notice that, look, today I cleaned the inside of this shelf. But today I changed the papers of the shelf. I wouldn't have even noticed. Whereas she has put in so much of effort and scrubbed something and gone. Matlab, she does work out of her call of duty. She is not expected to do that work, and she does that also over and above. Why I'm giving you this example is that of late, I've been seeing her and I'm realizing that this is what I need to do as a servant of Krishna. You know, so many times I'm not around when she leaves, which is the time when I give her breakfast. So many times she leaves without breakfast because I wasn't around. I couldn't give her breakfast. Which means that सुबह से वो इतना काम कर रही है, 2 घरों का करके भी आई है मेरे घर, and she's gone hungry. After doing an exemplary work, scrubbing the house squeaky clean, how difficult that would be. If I do so much seva in the temple and I don't get, some love or affection from Krishna, I mean, how am I going to feel? Am I really his servant? No. You know, and then so many times I may have forgotten to give her something that she really needed at that time, which I realized later on that she really needed this at that time and I forgot to give her. How many times, how do we feel when we do something and we really expect कि इसके हमारा ये काम हो जाना चाहिए इसके बदले में, I've done so much, और वो काम नहीं हो, how do we take it? Do we still feel the same love for Krishna or for the Shastra? So looking at her, I've realized that it's not easy to become a servant, living according to the will of the master. Master ने कहा आज ये खाना है तो यही खाना है, even though you may not be feeling so many. I'm telling you about my journey over 6 years. So initially, I didn't even know what she doesn't like. You know, for example, we love kadi pakoda, and she just cannot bear khatta. Anything khatta, uska gala kharab ho jata hai. She would quietly eat. She wouldn't even tell me. So after a hard day of work, she's getting the food that she doesn't like, you know, and she's having it. This is the role of a servant. Are we those kind of servants to Krishna? No. So whenever one feels कि मैं बहुत कर रही हूँ, I'm really going according to the rules of Krishna, always look at your house helps to know where you really are. So, for me, she is a role model of how one should be a servant of the Lord. So on my birthday, I asked her to pray for me, to give me this quality of hers. कि सेवा भाव मुझे तेरे जैसा मिले, मेरे लिए दुआ करना अपने अल्लाह से कि मुझे तेरे जैसा सेवा भाव मिले. How quietly you are working, and I've not even been able to take care of you on so many occasions, and yet your standard of work didn't drop. The standard of work remained the same, even though you may not have got what you wanted. Isn't this what he's asking us? Isn't this what the Gita is telling us? Do कर्म कर फल की इच्छा मत कर, यही है ना उसका मतलब. And the standard of your work also should not fall down, isn't it? And she will, so many times she's sick, still she comes to work. हमारा एक दिन सिर दर्द हो जाए, पीठ दर्द हो जाए, यार माला आज तो नहीं हो सकती, कल कर लूंगी, पर वो काम पे आ रही है. उसने तो काम नहीं छोड़ा, इतनी बीमार. So I always wonder that she's a better bhakt than I am. I hardly do anything at all compared to what she's doing. I'm talking about bhavna, intention. We may be doing different kinds of work. Her work is different, my work is different. But her standard of work, this is the standard of work. That you are poor, you are sick, you are already deprived and suffering, yet you are doing high standard of work. And that standard of work is not falling. This is exemplary. This is exactly how we need to live our lives, isn't it? So it's not easy to become a servant. My point is this, and that is akaram, living like a servant of the Lord. And whenever we feel and start getting comfortable in this idea that I'm a servant, I'm living according to him only, always take a look at the lives of your house helps, and you will realize there is much more to do. So we don't get complacent. We again become active. Does that make sense? At least it works for me. I just have to look at Runa to see that I have a long way to go. Abhi to I have not even reached Runa's level. So forget about anything else.
It's a very good example.
Yeah. Who said that? Acha.
Neha.
Yeah. So this works for me. I'm just sharing my personal experience. It may or may not, work. Sorry?
I will absolutely agree with you. That's a very good example.
और कभी हमने सोचा ही नहीं ऐसा
It's going to get a big change in our attitude also with the house help.
Yeah. So we have a long way to go to bring in that humility, that and standard of work. है ना? नहीं तो जरा सा मिला नहीं कुछ तो काम का स्टैंडर्ड भी गिर जाता है. छोड़ो यार, ये तो देखती नहीं है, करती भी नहीं है. आज ये छोड़ दो काम, कल वो छोड़ दो काम. We will also, our quality of work will be directly according to the return that we are getting, is it not? जब तक रिटर्न मिल रहा है तब तक बहुत अच्छा भजन कीर्तन, everything is going on. जरा सा रिजल्ट गिरा तो I have to open the door. Yeah, so this is akaram. What were we reading? Verse 18, है ना? Runa has come. I was just speaking about her. याद है पीछे 3-4 दिन पहले बहुत मूसलाधार बारिश हुई थी. It was pouring like nobody's business. And my in-laws were here and they said, "Aaj to ye nahi aane wali hai." We weren't expecting her to come also. And I cleaned up the kitchen and all that. And then the bell rings and she's standing there. And I'm like, "Bruna, are you crazy or something? You can't sit at home. Nobody will expect anyone to come for work when it's pouring so much. So, and how did you even reach here? All the roads are blocked. You need a boat to come here. There is, हमारी सोसाइटी के अंदर भी पानी भरा हुआ था. सिंह हम 3 लोगों ने ऑटो किया और हम 17 किलोमीटर घूम के आए. Going on dry roads, and then I came. And then she's getting a shouting for me for coming. क्यों आई? घर नहीं बैठ सकती, ध्यान नहीं रख सकती अपना. And she's saying पहले मुझे काम कर लेने दो फिर बात करेंगे. Where I don't have this bhavna at all. I'm not a servant of Krishna at all. So I told her that I really want to serve you so that whoever you serve, you get the quality of that person. This is the law of Shastra. I want this seva bhav from you. From where have you earned this seva bhav? This is what is needed. This is Krishna consciousness. Okay. Because everything is done for Krishna, he enjoys only transcendental happiness in the discharge of his service. Those who are engaged in this process are known to be without desire for personal sense gratification. The sense of eternal servitorship to Krishna makes one immune to all sorts of reactionary elements of work. So, becoming a servant of Krishna means working or living according to the rules of Krishna and living according to what he gives you and living with what he does not give you. Then you will be called as obedient to Krishna. This is akaram. So we have a long way to go, right? At least we've understood the definition. Thank God to Srila Prabhupada. Samajh mein to aaya. What is karam, vikaram, akaram? So according to Prabhupada, akaram, vikaram, zyada farak nahi hai. Don't be very happy with akaram. Sorry, karam. Don't be very happy with karam. Oh, हाँ, अच्छे कर्म करने हैं, sure. But karam and vikaram, the results are pretty much the same. Only a karam can save you. No reactions. Okay. I think we'll stop. Okay. I'll just show you this verse, PPT. 18th. Seeing action in inaction and inaction in action. So these are the three definitions. What is karam? Work with attachment according to Shastra. So you are working according to Shastra, but you're working with attachment. You want some results. So what do you get? Results, good reaction. Following Varnashram Dharam, Varnashram system according to the quality and work. What is vikaram? You work with attachment, but against Shastra. Results into bad reactions and sufferings. With karam, you get good reactions. With vikaram, you get bad reactions. And with akaram, you enjoy transcendental happiness. This is not available to nirakar. Jo nirakar vadi hai, nirvishesh nirakar स्वरूप, भगवान का जो निर्विशेष और निराकार स्वरूप की आराधना करते हैं, उनको ये सच्चिद आनंद नहीं मिल सकता. So akaram means all acts are done to please Krishna. There is no desire for sense gratification, and you act as his eternal servant. So how to get immunity to reactions of work? By the sense of eternal servitorship to Krishna. I am Krishna, your eternal servant. Then you will be completely immune to the reactions that you get in your life. And an intelligent man is one who is in a transcendental position, which means, what do you mean by transcendental position? It doesn't mean that there is a bright light behind your head and you put a tilak and you wear a kanthi mala and you've become transcendental. That's not what it means. Transcendental means one who understands what is inaction in action and action in inaction. Who understands that inaction in action means akaram. Acting, but no reaction to work. Acting in a platform of soul or acting in a constitutional position as a servant. आत्मा के लेवल पे काम करना हमेशा, बॉडी के लेवल पे काम ही नहीं करना. That is inaction. And what is action in inaction? Renounce your work. For example, a sannyasi without knowledge of Krishna appears not to be working, but he is liable to reactions. If a sannyasi says कि मैं कुछ काम नहीं करूँगा, he will still be liable for reactions because he is still breathing, walking, eating. He will get reaction for that. बिना भोग लगाए अगर खाया है, बिना नाम का सिमरन किए सांसें ली सारी उम्र, एक भी सांस को उनका नाम उनके नाम पे डेडिकेट नहीं किया, you're going to get a reaction for that. But if you live in a Krishna conscious lifestyle, it's easier first of all than a yogi's life, and you're also accruing akaram. Consequently, you do not get any reaction for akaram. Clear? Simple tha. Wasn't much difficult. Any comments? Anything you want to share? Anyone wants to say anything? All geared up for Janmashtami, everyone. Please take up sevas. Let's try and serve Krishna on his birthday. And keep 2 days in mind, Janmashtami and the day after Janmashtami. Both are equally important. It doesn't end. Sunday is Janmashtami. And what is the day after Janmashtami?
Monday is Janmashtami. Sunday.
Monday is Janmashtami.
Monday is Janmashtami and Tuesday is Srila Prabhupada's Vyas Puja, birthday.
Appearance day, birthday of Prabhupada.
Appearance day.
भी उतना ही
birthday.
जरूरी है जितना कृष्ण का बर्थडे मनाना जरूरी है. Because प्रभुपाद ना होते तो ये आज क्लास ना होती, ये अंडरस्टैंडिंग ना होती on what it means to be a servant. Who would have told us the difference between karam, vikaram and akaram? All mental speculators have translated this verse in such a speculative way. The real message has not reached us.